and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you about how to settle into uni, the best ways to get comfortable, and how to make your transition a lot more easier. Now, unlike most videos, I haven't planned what I want to say in this one because I wanted it to be more of an informal chat between friends, just for some freshers speaking to a second year about their opinions and advice. I wanted it to be really relaxed because I feel like some videos like this are pretty much a lecture, they just kind of drill it into you, and that is not what I wanted. So I hope you enjoy this format and I hope it helps and you can relate to it a bit easier. So the first thing I would say about your transition to uni is you should start it even before you're at uni. This kind of sounds a bit crazy, but obviously I'm assuming most of you have already bought your stuff that you were going to take, started to pack. That kind of thing is good to start early because you get excited and you start looking forward to it, so it's not so much of a dread as a positive thing, because I know it can be quite daunting to move if you're going far away from your family. The other thing I would say is before you leave to have a big gathering, whether it's drinks with your friends, or a barbecue with your family, or just a big roast dinner with your family. Just something to get you all together to say your goodbyes and to have that one last catch up. As crazy as it sounds, a lot of stuff does change whilst you're at uni. You will find that you lose contact with a lot of friends, even the ones that you said that you were going to stay best friends forever. You will start to lose touch with some people, not because you want to, not because you're being malicious, but just because stuff takes over. You're both really busy, you both got different timetables, you're both experiencing different things and starting a whole new friendship with other people, a whole new friendship circle. So yeah, I would definitely say have that last little bit. It would just make it, again, more exciting. You'll get to see all of your friends and family at once, have a talk, have a gossip like you did in the good old days. And yeah, I had this and I combined it. I'm saying everything twice, I keep stuttering. I did it, do you see what I mean? I did it where I combined it, so I had a huge barbecue in my back garden and I invited my family, my friends, my secondary school friends, and some of my boyfriend's family, just to have a chat, because obviously it's very daunting going to university. You don't know what's going to change, you don't know how it's going to be, so it's a really good way just to leave on a high note. The next hardest thing is obviously when you get there, it's all fun and games, it's really good. You start unpacking, you unpack your car, it's great, you're so excited to meet your flatmates, but then you've got to say goodbye to the person that drove you there, whether it's your mum, your dad, a friend, your boyfriend, your grandparents. You've got to say goodbye to them and they're going to drive away, and you're going to realise for the first time you are completely on your own. Now, it sounds scary, but it doesn't have to be as scary as I've made it out to be. I said goodbye to my mum and I cried, and thank God she didn't cry, because my sister told me she cried all the way back to the car, bless her. But yeah, I just focused on unpacking. As soon as she left, I was like, okay, bye, cried, whatever, was really gonna miss her. And started unpacking and sticking up photos, and I put on some music. And then she called me from the car, which was really nice because it just made me feel actually I wasn't on my own. They're only a phone call away, a FaceTime away, a Skype away. So that was kind of reassuring to have them call me just to see how I was doing. And I called them later that night to say good night and stuff and tell them how my first day went. The next transition is obviously meeting your flatmates, which is so exciting, and you just have to remember everyone is as shit nervous as each other. Everyone is petrified and scared of what's gonna go on, how they're gonna fit in, and sometimes it depends obviously who your flatmates are, but sometimes no one talks to each other for a while. I remember I got to my uni on a Sunday and the move-in day was a Saturday. You can move in Saturday or Sunday, so I moved in on the Sunday, which had meant some of my flatmates had already been there, and I ran into one girl in the hall and I asked if she had met anyone else, and she was like, no. I was like, what? She was like, yeah, no one really spoke to each other, we all just went into our rooms. And I was thinking, guys, you had the first night of uni and you didn't even talk to each other, what the hell? So I'm not saying you have to do this. I'm just one of those people who, I want to make the most out of a bad situation. I'm going to be one of those people who takes up the confidence to make something happen. So I went and I knocked on all of my flatmates' doors. I took inspiration from this from a story my mum had told me about how she had started uni in London and she was really scared. She went into the canteen or the common room or something, and she didn't have any friends. All of her friends were still back in Bournemouth or wherever they were from, and she went and sat on the biggest table of people and said, "Hi, I'm Sarah." And then that was it, like they all clicked. She ended up making friends with like dentists and stuff. So yeah, I kind of took inspiration from that and knocked on everyone's door and said, "Hi, I'm Amber, I'm in room number 2. Do you want to come and have a cup of tea in the kitchen?" And of course everyone said yes, because that was the first time any of us had spoken to each other, even though 3 of them didn't drink tea. But it was really nice because we just sat in the kitchen and we all talked about where each other were from, like what we had studied at A level, what we were studying now, what we were looking forward to. And it's just a good icebreaker. Another thing you can do is like bring a game, like a board game or a card game, to have like something to break the ice, a little something to talk about, which isn't like, "So what are you studying?" You know, like quite forced. It can just be entertaining, and I think it's really interesting to watch people's competitive sides come out, because everyone relaxes a bit more and you kind of start to see their true colours. So that is another really good thing to do. Then your first lecture is also another transition you're going to have to make, and it's kind of scary. You get put into obviously your personal tutors, but what I would say is I think you can tell a lot about how someone dresses for the first day of uni. Like, so if obviously someone's like fashion is like completely different from yours, I'm not saying you're not going to have a lot to talk about, but the first thing I would say, which is a good starter, is, "Oh my god, I really like your you know, start with a compliment. They're only gonna like think of you positively. So I would find someone that you like their handbag or their shoes or the jacket they're wearing and be like, "Oh my god, I really like your jacket." They'll be like, "Oh, thanks so much, it's from blah blah." You go, "Oh my god, no way, I love that." You know, you can just start like talking about it. And then you can kind of slip in like, "Do you mind if I sit next to you in the lecture?" And I bet you 90% plus, unless they've already got buddies or whatever, that they'll be like, "Yeah, sure." Everyone is in the same boat. Everyone wants to make friends. And sitting by yourself in your first lecture is kind of a no-no, because people are creatures of habit. People will tend to sit in the same lecture seats that they sat in the first time. Which means if you sit by yourself, like in the back, that might be where you're sat all year, and people will start to form friendships and like cliques, and you might not be a part of any of them. So I would definitely try and say, even if it is out of your comfort zone, like university is going to be out of your comfort zone when you get there, push yourself to talk to someone and sit next to someone. Even if you don't talk to them before, even if you just sit next to them, they're not going to be like, "Can you move away?" Like, unless they're a bitch, you won't want to be friends with them anyway. They're gonna like let you sit there, obviously, and usually the lecturers will ask for like a group discussion at one point, and then you get to talk to them anyway, and it's not you having to do it off your own back, it's like asked of you, so it's a bit easier. I would then say in your lectures, it's kind of like A levels, except you've got a little bit more respect for each other. Like with your lecturer and the student, you have a bit more respect for each other. And they will ask questions, and some people, like some of the lecturers, don't ask for hands up, they just ask you to call out, because obviously hands up just takes time. And everyone is nervous on the first day, so no one ever replies. And it's so like, I just find it so awkward, I like literally cringe. Because the poor lecturer is still at the front going, waiting for someone to reply, and everyone's just like looking away, like trying not to make eye contact. So I would say, if you're feeling brave enough, make that first jump and answer a question, even if you get it wrong. Lecturers are really good at making you not feel like shit if you get a question wrong. They'll be like, "Oh, that's a very interesting point, can anyone elaborate on that?" You know? Or like, "Oh, interesting, let's come back to that. Does anyone else have any other ideas?" You know, they're never going to be like, no. Because university is all about encouraging people to speak their mind and give you different opinions and challenge the way people think. Like, that's what university is about, trying to think in different ways. So they're always going to be encouraging, so don't be afraid to shout out. The only thing I would say is shout out once or maybe twice, but don't be the person that shouts out every time, because I was this person in one of my tutorials, which is like a group of 20 of us and one lecturer. No one would reply, and like I said, it cringes me the F out. So I would reply, and then she'd ask another question, no one would reply, so I'd reply. And then she asked someone to read out, and no one did. And then she just looked at me, like knowing that I felt confident enough to talk, so maybe I would feel confident enough to read out, which was fine. I didn't mind. Like, I did English A level, I can read. But you then become the person that answers every question if no one replies. So from then on, for the rest of the year, if no one else replied, it was between me and one other girl. We always had to answer or like call out or read or whatever, which is fine, but obviously other people get to take a backseat, and sometimes you feel a bit on the spot because you're not always going to know the answer. Like, it's ridiculous to think that one person is going to know the answer to every question. So yeah, I would say definitely make your part, but don't go too far. The last transition is obviously going to be making friends. Obviously you've met people, but it's like the creating the bond, which I found the hardest. From my first year, I've got 2 solid friends, which I'm sure we're going to be friends for ages. But other than that, we kind of found each other and then stuck in our little like triangle. We didn't really branch out, which I think is a mistake. I think you should try and make as many friends as possible. Obviously you're going to be better friends with some people and not as much with other people, but I would say don't get too comfortable. Try and branch out and meet different people, because they're going to really like shape and mold your experience of uni, and whether like they have a party and invite people or whatever, you're going to want to be a part of those experiences. So what I would say is, once you've spoken to a few people, you think you like them, you've maybe worked in a team, invite them to study in the library, or ask, like, say, like, oh, where are you going after lectures? And they go, oh, I'm just going to go to Costa and grab a coffee. You'd be like, oh, do you mind if I come with you? You know, or ask them if they've started an assignment, and if they haven't, maybe you want to work on it together, or whether they've read so-and-so book, and if they have, maybe you can borrow it. You know, just little things that would make your university friends go from outside university, like bring that friendship out of the lecture room and see what it turns into outside of uni, because obviously university is very structured and it's quite interesting to see what people are like in their everyday lives. One way I did this was, again, the event manager in me. I wrote invitations to a courtyard party. So basically my accommodation had like a little courtyard in the middle. Wait, did I say my invitation? My accommodation had a courtyard in the middle. And we hadn't met, like me and my flatmates hadn't met anyone else in our building yet. So I think I wrote 10, maybe 11 invitations like, hey, come drink with us. We're in the courtyard, we'll be there from 8. Love from A7, because that was like our flat number. And I put it through 10 or 11 doors. And about 30 people showed up, and we had speakers, and we played drinking games, and we all got to know each other, and we were having a dance, and it was a really good time. I was very proud, because that was like my first mini event of uni, and obviously as an events management student, it was very important that it went well, and it did. We did get asked to move on because we were too loud and it was getting late, which is fair enough. So yeah, I would say, like, just try and invite people, even if you're going out, like, ask them around for pre-drinks, or, you know, if you're not really one of those people who goes out and does drinking or anything, obviously inviting them around to study, or meeting them in the common room or anything like that is a really good way to kind of meet each other, have a little conversation, learn a bit more about each other, and hopefully start a friendship that will last a very long time. I hope this video has helped, and that it hasn't been too rambly. I know I could go on for ages about everything and anything, but I hope it's helped you realise that university is scary, but it's not as scary as you think it is. It's really what you make of it. If you want it to be scary, it's going to be scary. If you want it to be a good experience and you want to make the most of it, it's very easy to do so. And I think the key thing to remember is that everyone is in the same boat and is feeling the exact same emotions and feelings and anxieties that you're feeling at the moment. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Subscribe if you're new, and like this video if you like this format of Rambly Amber. Ooh. And yeah, comment down below if you think of anything else that would help with anyone else's transition, because obviously people who are watching this video are obviously going to uni and they could help learn from those comments as well. So I'll see you next time. Bye!